Workshop! What are we doing this week?
This week we're doing a video on 10 woodworking tips for beginners.
Yeah, so without further ado,
Here we go!
tip number 1. Measure twice, cut once. It's an old woodworking adage, but it really makes sense nowadays. You don't want to waste a lot of wood, and wood is expensive. So, make sure you measure twice, and always mark which side is the waste side.
Next up is sharp tools. A really good idea because it's really dangerous. We don't have sharp tools. They can go all over the place when we're doing it. They'll be uneven, and it's just a safety hazard. And when you have sharp tools, it smoothly goes through and it works really well.
Sanding. If you're using like an oscillating sander that's spinning around super fast, this isn't as big of an issue. But if you're hand sanding, always sand with the grain of the wood instead of against the grain. It'll make your projects look much nicer, and you're gonna avoid those scratches in your projects. Especially when you're up to like 220, always sand with the grain of the wood for those last final strokes and just to avoid those deep scratches.
Next up is choosing the right wood. You can often tell what it is because it's usually marked. On the sides right here we have it marked. What's really important about it is the appearance, the look, and how strong or weak it is. Some woods are much better than other woods.
Clamps are awesome. They hold your wood piece secure, which means your cuts are going to be accurate, it's not going to move around, and your work's going to be really accurate and more precise. Clamps are amazing. They're a woodworker's friend, and you can never have too many of them. So, this tip is always use clamps.
Wait, before I start this nice piece of aspen, I'm gonna practice on this plywood. It's very old, and it's like just a scrap piece of wood. Just to make sure I got the right cut. It's always nice to practice on scrap wood.
So one of the biggest injuries in the wood shop is the woodworker's lungs. So make sure you wear a mask when you're cutting wood.
Next, you gotta keep your workbench clean. Makes things safer, and look at all this space we have. You can fit me!
And now my tip is to actually have a workbench. A giant flat surface is amazing for putting projects together. It's gonna be safer, it's gonna be better to use. You'll have a lot more fun with your project if you have a giant flat surface like a workbench. Make sure it's stable.
Next is to have fun. Do what you can. It's okay if you make mistakes, because it's all about the process, not about the project.
Friday Workshop! Well, that was 10 woodworking tips. So if you like videos like these,
You should check out this one, like and subscribe.